Good early evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Stern coming at you with the Saturday edition of my regular weekly dinner stream. The reason why I am on Saturday plus an hour early than my usual time is I will not be at home tomorrow because I am cooking for an event at the mosque, and well, I will be doing it with another person. So I always volunteer to do these things, so that's what I'm doing. And then I'm on early because Old Smoky plans on going live at around 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. So hopefully we can all catch his stream. So you got Cliff in the house. Angry Blacksmith is here. I see 3 viewers. So this will be meal 2. I just decided to go ahead and get back into this behemoth. And I saved the bag. And I saved everything. And I'm just, because the other box that's inside here is so flimsy, I just use my Minotaur box just to keep all the stuff in. It just makes it handy. So, still got some of the tortillas. Same apple grape jam. Same protein bar. So it'll either be the spaghetti and meatballs or the beef chili with beans. And for my drink options, what I've chosen for my stash. This is a strawberry mint flavor mixed drink from French RCIR or the French Ration. That is in the drinking jar. Then the coffee that I chose is a French SRD coffee, along with my own creamer and sugar. Thanks. Yeah, you commented about my little deck garden update video. I gave them some plant food. Then after I got the video started uploading, I just went and finished doing that with all of them. I just wanted to get that done before I went live, because otherwise it would be pretty dark. And I don't want to miss Smokey's stream, so I wanted to go ahead and get that done. Plus it's not too warm out today where it would be too warm to water. It only got up to 81 Fahrenheit today, so these are the choices for tonight. I'm going to put that back there. There's Chicago in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This time you made it in time. Normally these French drinks call for 500 mils of water, but to me that makes it a little bit on the weak side. So I'm going for a little stronger by using my drinking jar. These take a while to mix because they do have actual sugar in them instead of a fake sweetener alone. This is what the SRD coffee looks like. Then my own creamer and sugar. So which one of these is going into the pot? Will it be the spaghetti or the chili? Nope, that's right. I have an event at the mosque tomorrow, and I and another woman are cooking for that. And to save us a little bit of work, I did some advanced prep yesterday after the Friday prayer, after everybody had gotten their lunch. So that way it'll go a little bit faster tomorrow. So far I see one for spaghetti. And one for chili. And also, as I said earlier, I'm on an hour before my usual start time because Old Smoky is planning on going live around 9 o'clock Eastern That's 8 Central. Barring any difficulties he might have to deal with trying to get on. Someone else that I'm subscribed to was trying to go live earlier, but that was an absolute fail, so she managed to put up a little video. So I watched that a few minutes ago. There's James Ortiz in the house. So far, 1 vote for spaghetti, 1 vote for the chili. This is meal 2 out of this Chef 5-Minute Meals 72 hour. Monstrosity, which is not as much of a monstrosity because I've taken all the duplicates out and I've stashed all the stuff that I would not be using, like the sporks, the little napkins, the little salt and pepper packets go into my camping food bag. And no cold or hot drink options of any kind with these packs. I hope they do change that. Yeah, especially if these types of civilian rations are given out to disaster survivors, and if they have to drink chemically treated water, and they might need something to kind of cover up the taste of it or to give additional nutrients or energy, or say if it's given out in cold weather, they might want a hot drink to warm up with. So this is all that the meal consists of. You got an entree, you got this Grand Canyon apple cinnamon oversized granola bar, the same apple grape jelly combination that they have used before, a single tortilla, yeah, I mean, it's the same with the salmon pink bag, the humanitarian daily ration. The closest thing to a drink in the newest version is those smoothies, which are almost as thick as a pudding. I mean, you really can't drink those yet. Almost have to use this, either suck it out of the pouch or use a spoon to eat it. Yeah. But this is, that's definitely bigger than the average granola bars you might get from either Quaker Oats or, the Quaker Chewy granola bars or the Sunbelt granola bars or even the Nature Valley or store brand granola bars. Of course, with a vending machine, you have to have some money to put in those things. Otherwise, you can't get anything out of it unless someone hacks it. Of course, I wouldn't encourage that, but some people would do that. So last chance to decide which goes in the pot. Here's the Carlos Perry in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, I put 2 community posts up today about why I am on here today and what time I would be streaming once I found out when, if Smokey was going live and when. Since he's going live at 9 Eastern, once I found that out, I came back with another post saying that I'm going live at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. And I went back to the Chef 5-minute, 72-hour beast of a thing. And these are the entrees that are left. Of course, I have duplicates, but I'm not doing 2 reviews of the same entree. So I had the chicken Parmesan last time, the chicken pasta, but I did not get the Parmesan taste. So I'm curious to see how either of these are. So it's spaghetti and meatballs or beef chili with beans. So last call to decide which one goes into the pot to heat up. So far it's 1 for the spaghetti, 1 for the chili. Okay, there's 2 for spaghetti. If no one else wants to get in on this, then I'm putting the spaghetti in the pot and the chili back in the box. And I got rid of that box that all this stuff originally came in because it was pretty flimsy. So I just recycled this Minotaur box because it's sturdy. And it's a lot smaller. So what will remain is what will be for the third and final meal. Okay, I guess the chili's going back in the box. And I will put that there. And I'll take the spaghetti into the kitchen to heat up. And I'll bring back the hot water for the coffee and I'll be right back. I just took the kettle back into the kitchen just to get it out of the way since I don't need it anymore. I'm giving this one another mix in since there is still powder at the bottom. This looks like the color of pink lemonade. Get my scissors out to open this because this has no tear notch of any kind. Well, actually it does, but look where it is, right in the middle. These are whole wheat tortillas. Just using a plastic bag for the trash. It would be nice to see these in other flavors besides apple cinnamon, but this is a very good bar. It just tastes like your average granola bar. I'll just show the back of the bag that has suggested meals for each of the 3 days. Has nutritional info, instructions on how to use the FRHs that are included. I have them all stashed away. June of 25. That's the best buy date on this thing. And this bag originally had a handle, but once you cut it open, you lose that handle, and there's no way to close it. There is no zip seal or anything. There's Wide Family Farm in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Let's see. I'm just going back through the chat. See if I missed anything. That doesn't look like it. Yeah. Yeah, poorly designed bag. I've had some of the Russian 24-hour rations that were the same way. It has a carry handle, but once you open it, you lose that. Or you may keep the carry handle, but the zip seal's on the bottom. And if you don't get it, and if it's not a strong zip, if it's not made well, and you got something heavy in there, you risk that failing as you're carrying that, and it's constantly shaking around. You risk that failing, and you lose whatever you had in that bag. But yeah, a couple of improvements I could see with this for future versions. Yeah, make it resealable to protect the contents. And make it easy to carry, such as retaining a handle once it is opened. So who knows what they will do in the future versions of this. Anyway, I think my spaghetti should be warmed up. Yeah, the spaghetti and meatballs is the entree for tonight for those that just came in. This apple grape jelly blend is the same as the first meal, and it will be the same in the third meal. This apple cinnamon monster granola bar has to be a repeat. The tortilla is a repeat. And I dug drink options from my own stash because this kit does not have any. And I'm just using a plastic shopping bag for my trash. I intend on keeping this bag. It's still pretty big even after being cut open. Anyway, I will get the spaghetti out and I'll be right back. slide this over. I use this just to carry it in from the kitchen, and I'm drying it off with a paper towel. Label survived the boiling. Let's see what the spaghetti looks like. Very liquidy sauce. And not as much spaghetti as I expected. It's so you can clearly see the size of the meatballs. The flavor of the sauce is like a pretty decent marinara. The meatballs could use a little more seasoning though. Yeah, it is. See, you get a spaghetti entree from a U.S. Emery or one of the civilian rations packed by the U.S. Emery packers. You'll get a lot more pasta. And the sauce will be a little thicker than this. There's a bit of seasoning. I can pick up a little bit of garlic in the meatballs. But the pasta is skinny. You can see how skinny that is. It's like the linguine. Instead of your typical spaghetti thickness. Yeah, the number of meatballs in here is pretty good. I almost could have called it meatballs with spaghetti. And because the spaghetti is so thin, it doesn't take as long to cook, so this is really, really soft. Yeah, you could almost call it spaghetti soup. Now that's the right amount of water for this French mixed drink. I can actually taste the strawberry and a little bit of the mint. I can smell the mint coming out of that. Yeah, unfortunately, that is not an option with this. Although, eventually I could see one of the U.S. ration packers coming up with a shelf-stable version of a grilled cheese. After all, they did come up with pizza. But I wouldn't put it past them to try to come up with a shelf-stable grilled cheese sandwich. This could definitely use a little more, or a little Parmesan cheese. I mean, that's the proper way to eat spaghetti, at least to me it is. I tried to cut open one of the meatballs, but I think it kind of it's trying to focus. Oh, there we go. There's the one that I cut open. I picked up the wrong one. No, they don't. And some of them have put together some really strange combinations. Especially with some of the older USMREs had some really strange combinations. And then you get some of the MCWs that are a breakfast, get that focus back. You get some of the breakfast MCWs, and you get something in there that is not typically a breakfast item in there. I don't know if they do that because sometimes a soldier would be issued one of those for lunch or dinner, or what the deal is, or why they do that. Of course, what this one needs, well, the chicken pasta Parmesan could use this too, garlic bread. Say, like the Italian breadsticks. That would have been a perfect addition. because you get that Italian herb flavor, but a little garlic butter on there. That would be perfect. I just did bite into a piece of actual tomato. I don't know if you can see that laying across the stand of pasta. That red there is a piece of tomato. I do like that. I'm just going to take a bite of this tortilla with this jelly in it. Since I have duplicates of these entrees, what I might do when I'm just eating the second one on my own, I might take a little bit of my butter and put a tiny bit of garlic powder, mix that up, and then spread that on the tortilla. Just had a drink of the French SRD coffee from one of their rations. And speaking of rations, I'm still waiting on something to come in. So that hasn't given me a new update on the tracking. It's called the Tactical Food Pack. And they have been made in single meal and 24-hour versions. They have been shown on the channel Eats, Treats, and MREs. Sue over there in the UK has shown them. I wish it was just as easy for us to get those kinds of rations here in the US and possibly Canada as it is for people on the other side of the pond. Delicious posted up on Facebook of something that he is going to be digging into pretty soon. And it looks like it might be a Latvian ration because one of the languages on there looked like it might have been Latvian, but I did see Polish on there. I couldn't quite figure out what it said. I don't know enough Polish, plus it was because it was not completely flat. It was a filled pouch. It was hard to see all of the writing on it, but it definitely looks pretty interesting. So I think that will show up on his channel in the near future. Uh, he can get stuff there in Poland that a lot easier than we can here. I hate that, James. I know the feeling from the last time I was in the hospital. That really bites. So, fortunately, Marilyn does not have to deal with that anymore. She can sleep all through the night without having to worry about getting poked and prodded. And sometimes they forget to turn the lights off when they leave. And if they leave the door open, the hallway lights are always bright. Well, James, I suppose it's a good thing you were woken up, because otherwise you would have missed me being on here today. And I'm not going to be on tomorrow because I'm cooking at the mosque, and we serve after the afternoon prayer, which will be around 5:30. Of course, I won't just eat dinner and leave. I will stay and help clean up because it's just the right thing to do. I help make the mess, I gotta stay and clean it up. Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Sometimes they can be so inept, like when they tell a totally blind person who was just diagnosed with diabetes to just practice and hands them a syringe and an orange. And of course, you know what my friend did? She was thinking, screw the syringe, and she ate the orange. She wasn't gonna waste an opportunity like that. And of course, one time I was in the hospital, the person going around with the meal carts wanted to give me someone else's food. Now it's for someone who was supposed to be on a soft food diet, and now is not. I saw the room number and I said, this isn't my food, get it out of here. And it took that person several seconds to decide to look at it. Oh. And then go get the right one. Of course, during that same stay, this is when they were still using glass thermometers, and I had one of those in my mouth, and the person coming with the book cart came in and asked me if I wanted a book, and I just stared at her like, uh, thinking, "Are you blind? Can't you see what's sticking out of my mouth?" And then I just stared at her. And it took her about a minute to realize that I was not going to answer, that I was not going to try to talk with that thing sticking out of my mouth, because that's not how you deal with those things. Yeah, this granola bar is very soft because it's laying in a tray and it's bent, so oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to bump that. And of course, I had an Amazon delivery earlier in the week, and the guy hands me the box, and I said, "This does not feel like cat food." And he's thinking like, "What? What are you expecting?" I said, "Yeah, I'm expecting a big a box with a big bag of cat food in it, and this is not heavy. That thing is heavy." And then he looked at it. It wasn't even for the property. It was supposed to go in several house numbers down the street. So he almost tried to give me someone else's package. Instead of actually looking when he got to my address, looking for the right box, he just grabbed a random box. But I caught him, so I got that big bag of cat food, and that person got the correct package and not mine. Yeah, there are some people who just need to learn how to read, or at least pay attention. Smokey can tell you all about that stuff from all the times he's been dealing with hospitals and some people get the wrong medicines, the wrong dosages. Or you go to a pharmacy to pick up a prescription and they put someone else's pills in there. So I've never had that happen, but I'm pretty sure that's happened to a few. So it's always good to double check. Although, yeah, I've never had that happen where I get someone else's prescription because the pharmacy I use is pretty good about double checking all that stuff. I do like to have fun with them. They say, if you have any questions, and I say, yeah, they're pills in a bottle. Yep, we have definitely lowered ourselves. Yeah, I have a friend up in London, Ontario. She has had some bad experiences with businesses not respecting the fact that she is disabled and she uses a power chair or a scooter to get around. And Canada has a similar law that is like our Americans with Disabilities Act. And there are certain standards that public accessible buildings need to have. And she has still run into places that are not fully compliant with that, or there are people who work there that just don't give a crap. Like, either if she is buying something from a restaurant or a coffee shop, if she gets the wrong order, you know, it's not what she paid for, and then they give her a new one and it's still the same error. And I've seen others post about that where the employee messes up but doesn't correct it. They make the same mistake. Makes you wonder if that was done deliberately to tick somebody off or what. It just makes you wonder about that sometimes. And my friend up in Ontario, she has even dealt with bus drivers in the past who don't want to bother with either putting out the ramp, even if the space in the front of the bus is available where a wheelchair or scooter would sit. Or, they claim that it's not working when it actually is. Or they say the bus is full when it actually is not. Yeah, I've seen that happen down here where some people don't get the proper respect. And of course, you got the opposite where some will go out of their way to give someone an assist. Like, I have seen bus drivers help someone carry their bags in and out. or a bus driver helping someone who has never used a bike rack that's on the front end of the buses, showing them how to do it. Or if the person is having issues with it, or if the bus stop, if it's muddy, then the bus will either will stop a few steps away from the actual bus stop sign to avoid that nasty spot. Yeah, we have mini buses that are used for paratransit, and then we have what we call rideshare vans. I don't know if any of those are wheelchair accessible because I've never seen the inside of one. There is a driver who parks one outside of my, on the street in front of my building. And I'm guessing he is allowed to do that because with rideshare, you go and pick people up as if it were like a communal taxi, but you pay in advance for that and you just go pick the people up, you know, based on their pickup location instead of a fixed route. So the rideshare drivers take those vehicles home with them. Yeah, after they make their last drop. That way they can just go out in the morning because they may have to pick people up before the buses start running. Again, I'm not sure how that worked because I don't do rideshare because I'm not a work or school commuter. I'm only out early in the morning on Fridays to go to the mosque to start working on the Friday lunch. Well, that was an actual piece of onion I just ate. Actual bits of onion. Oh, Carolyn is here. Thanks for dropping in. I just finished off the spaghetti and meatballs, which is one of the 3 entrees in this Chef 5-minute meals 72-hour meal kit. Last Sunday, I got into the chicken pesto parmesan. That one lacked the parmesan flavor. The spaghetti, the meatballs were almost like there are as many meatballs as there was pasta strands, so it could have used a lot more pasta. But the sauce itself had some flavor. Be nice if the meatballs had a little bit more flavor to them, but they they're still pretty good. I will definitely enjoy eating the second one. These entrees repeat themselves, as do some of the other items. So there is one of these monster granola bars for each day, one packet of the apple grape jelly blend for each day, and then 2 tortillas per day. And that's it. That's all the food that was inside this thing. You got 6 flameless ration heaters, which I have saved all of them. But you only got 4 sporks instead of 6. I'm not sure why that. I don't know if they forgot to put the other 2 in there or if that was intentional. This spaghetti was actually pretty good. It just needed a little bit more pasta and a little bit more seasoning in the meatballs, but the fact that I bit into some actual pieces of tomato and onion, that was nice. I'm hoping that in future versions of these, they will actually mix it up more with changing up, say, like the granola bars, or having something else besides a tortilla. Some of the jelly had leaked out the bottom, but that's okay. But with only 3 spreads, when you get 6 tortillas, I find that kind of lacking, and no drink option of any kind, so I dig out of my own stash. SRD coffee from a French Ration, and a strawberry mint drink from a French Ration. And I only used about 12 ounces of water instead of the full half liter. Otherwise, I would barely be able to taste it. And this apple cinnamon granola bar, it does not taste like a protein bar. It just tastes like a quality granola bar. It's a soft one, so it's easy to eat, which is nice. Yeah, some of them are like that, but I think they've actually upped the flavor game a little bit. There's LC in the house. But you get, with these mains, you get 9 ounces of food content in the pouch, whereas a USMRE standard is 8 ounces for the main. So you get an extra ounce. Theoretically, if you get every last milligram out of the pouch, but you never do. But since these entrees repeat themselves, so this gave me 2 of the spaghettis, 2 of the chicken pastas, and then 2 of the chilies. And these are how you mix it up. Although it's still kind of hard with these repeating themselves. Well, you're not too late since I haven't eaten everything. I just finished off the spaghetti. And jelly's leaking out the bottom end of the tortilla, but that's okay. But from the first time I've had these 5-minute meals, I think they have upped their flavor game a bit. The previous single meals that I did earlier this year, the granola is still the same. Now this one did have the granola, that same granola with cereal with latte. Those are the same as in the previous single meal ones. It's the same flavor. The latte is more like a coffee creamer, I'm assuming, and not just a powdered milk. So it would be similar to what I put in my coffee. Yeah, that would be. I mean, I do eat ramen. I don't eat it a whole lot, but once in a while I will get some. And I will take it camping occasionally. But I also take one of my freeze-dried, or one or two of my freeze-dried entrees that I can just put boiling water in. And a previous camp where I did that, I had a pouch of the white chicken chunks that one of the U.S. ration packers does. I had one of those, and I actually put that into the bag with, it was a Minotaur rice and vegetables. So I added the chicken to that. That way I figured I would get some warm meat in addition to the rehydrated rice. Yeah, and I have had a few different ones. There are so many others that I have yet to get my paws on. I just need to find them. Since the one Asian store I used to love shopping at is no longer, there is still another one that is not too far from here. So I will just have to go in there and see what they got for ramens. I have also bought some other things that are not really Asian. Like I have found a can of halal corned beef in there. And the last time I bought anything from that particular store, got me a can of lychee fruit, because I haven't had lychee in a while. Yeah, I just like going in there once in a while just to explore it, even if I'm in there to pick up a UPS package, because it's also a UPS access point. In fact, I bought that can of lychee when I was in there to pick up a package. Yeah, it's not leche. Leche is milk in Spanish. Lychee, sometimes spelled Lychi or Chee. It's an Asian fruit. Yeah, I do like that. I just haven't had any in a while. Yeah, see, that's one of the ways that it is spelled. Yeah, autocorrect sucks. Yeah, when I was using my Samsung Galaxy S5, which is what I used to shoot my garden video today, because I wanted this one to just keep charging. So I had close to a full charge when I started this. The autocorrect on that one, it would want to say my city's name is an error when it's not. And if I didn't catch it in time, it would change it. And so what I had to do is I finished typing what I wanted, and if it wanted to change the city name, especially the first word, the DES, it would say Fez, Fez. That's what it would want to change it to. So what I had to do with that is I would change that, and then I would hit send right there before, while my cursor is still at the end of that word. And then it stayed like I originally put it. Well, Carolyn, I guess I made you hungry. Have a good dinner. And thanks for dropping in. And speaking of dinner, tomorrow we'll be cooking some chicken with some vegetables. And then we will put ground beef in rice. And then other people will be bringing dishes because it's also sort of a potluck. So I did some advanced prep yesterday. I cut up some onions. There was a bell pepper, so I cut that up. but there was only one bell pepper, so I have some here at home. So I'm going to cut those up and then take them tomorrow when I go to the mosque to start preparing the main part of the meal. And the person who brought the chicken and some of the other stuff, she will not be able to attend tomorrow, but we'll just use what she brought. So I like doing things like this. You know, it keeps me out of trouble half the time. And I will get a ride home tomorrow because the buses will have stopped running by the time we are serving. You know, the buses don't run late on Sundays, which is a bummer and a half, but it is what it is. So I will get a ride home from someone else who will be there tomorrow. And there are some people who are very good about giving me rides home from the mosque when I'm attending there, when I'm still there after the time the buses stop running. I help out with weddings. And we had one of those last month, so I helped out with that. And I got to bring some food home. You know, if someone in our community has a baby and has a meal there, then I help out with that. I'm a volunteer kitchen coordinator is how I like to. I don't know. I wouldn't say give a title to myself, but I mean that's basically what I do. I keep track of the supplies. And then I let certain people know when we're very low on something. And of course, I do contribute too. You know, yesterday I took a pack of styrofoam cups, the 8 ounce or 9 ounce size, or whatever they are. I took a pack of those in. I took a pack of like the divided rectangular, I call them lunch trays. It's kind of like a small version of this, but made of styrofoam. So we're going to be planning like a cookout, a community cookout. So I figured those will be good for that. So I took in another pack of those to make sure we have enough. So yeah, I donate some stuff as I'm able to. I also the last light bulb that we had there from the last pack that I donated got put in somewhere, so I took in another pack of light bulbs. Uh, chocolate uh, chocolate chip. There is spicy tuna rolls in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Uh, I don't have anything chocolate chip here. Now I have chocolate peanut butter granola bars, but I bought those myself. Nope, no ketchup. Not out of this thing anyway. Yeah, I got into more of this again. And this time the spaghetti went into my belly. And for those that just came in, the pasta was very sparse. The sauce was almost soupy, but it had very good flavor. It had bits of tomato and onion in it that you could actually taste. You could actually see it and chew it. It wasn't just flavoring. The meatballs were pretty good. They could have used a little more seasoning in it, but they're still pretty good. They're really small. Think of that but round. This is the strawberry mint from a French ration. And I only mixed it in about 12 ounces of water instead of the full 500 mils. So I can actually taste the flavor and I can smell the mint. When you mix it stronger, you actually get the flavor of it. If I would have mixed it with the full 500 mils of water, 16.9 ounces, I would not have been able to taste much. I might have been able to smell the mint, but I don't think I would have tasted it. Then this is the SRD coffee with my own creamer and sugar, an SRD from a French ration. These do not have any kind of drink options. The only other components that I did not pull out, which I've saved for later use, was the same granola cereal with latte that have been in their single meals, the Chef 5-minute single meals. So this pack had 3 of them. So I will be saving those for later use. And you only got 4 sporks instead of 6, which I find kind of odd. Get 6 tortillas, 2 per day, but only 1 spread per day, which is the way this is set up. So only 3 packets of the jelly. but 6 tortillas, and 3 of these massive granola bars. There's still that much left. Apple cinnamon. But I really do like these bars. Actually, I made an oops. There's I figured like there's supposed to be 9 meals in here, but he didn't get 9 sporks. So you would have to save one of them from one of the other meals, probably from breakfast, and use it for one of the other meals. But those sporks are smaller than this. So it would be very difficult to eat out of the pouch unless you cut part of it off. No second tear notch below the original one. But the fact that they're gusseted pouches is really good. I do like that about them. But you get 9 ounces of food in these, which is 1 ounce more than the standard USMRE. See, that's the weight. See, nice gusseted pouch. So it stands up, but you only have the one tear notch up here, none below. So in this chili, the top of the food is about here. So even with and the spork that came with that is about to where my thumb is. So it would, unless you had another dish to dump this into, using that spork would be a little difficult. Unless you had scissors or a knife to cut this down more. I'm just using this Minotaur box because the original box that was in, that all this stuff came in, was kind of flimsy. Well, maybe he'll just blame it on autocorrect. Because some of these so-called AIs think the word spork is an error. Well, when these things were first produced, it would have been an error because that was not a common word like it is now. I mean, you see sporks all over the place. But I have all the sporks that came in this kit. I have the napkins. They are now part of my emergency stash. The little salt and pepper packets that were in there in the wrapping with the spork and the napkin, those are now part of my camping seasoning supply. Nope, I had a Kit Kat bar in that last IMP that I had. I thought that was pretty darn cool to get one of those. No, he probably just had to go away from whatever he's watching this on. But I have all 6 flameless ration heaters packed away. And I take the water pouches out of them and pack them away separate. So they're in a hard container inside of a Ziploc bag. That way, if they do end up springing a leak, it is contained. And those are stored separate from my pouches of actual drinking water. And speaking of that, one of those that was in that first August Farms emergency ration, the single day one of the water pouches sprung a leak and leaked over everything, so I had to get rid of that one. But the other 6 were still fine, so I put those away separate from that bags that have the food in them. And I put those inside of a Ziploc bag, and they're in a bucket. That way, if they do end up springing a leak, it's contained. Well, from a prepping standpoint, that is a good problem to have. Because there may come a time where you actually have to use one of those. If you have a small enough retort pouch or a little tiny can or one of those hot beverage bags that you put something in that you want to heat up, you could use the ration heaters for that. Or a bigger can, you put the can on top of the element if it can't go in the bag itself. Or if you're careful with it, you could just activate the ration heater and put it in a coat pocket. And you could use it as a hand warmer or a body warmer. or you're in a situation where you want to heat something up, but you either can't have an open flame because you don't have the right conditions or you don't have the stuff to do it, or you want to be stealthy and not let anyone know they're actually cooking or heating up some food. They're good for that. Or you can take them camping. You know, the first year that I volunteered for the White Eagle Multicultural Powwow, doing the kids' crafts, actually took a retort pouch, a USMRE entree, in fact a halal one. I took a flameless ration heater, and I used that to heat up that pouch because I did not know where volunteers could get food without having to pay for it. I found out that I could have done that, so I started, getting food with the rest of the volunteers and the presenters. But yeah, I used a ration heater. I put that inside of an MRE bag that I had saved. And it was hot that day, but that thing got so hot that the FRH bag literally melted to the inside of the MRE bag. It didn't melt to the retort pouch itself, though, which is good because I was able to take that out and open it up and eat the food. But yeah, it literally melted to the inside of the MRE bag. But that's okay because I was using that as a trash bag anyway. Yep, exactly, LC. You can use these FRHs when you go camping in an area that has a fire ban. Or during a power outage. Say, if I wanted to, during the 2020 derecho that smacked Iowa, I could have pulled out one of my FRHs to heat up something from one of the rations I had at the time. But I pulled out my little pocket rocket knockoff. I had my slider open for ventilation. That was before I got Pumpkin, where I could have my slider all the way open because Mila was not trying to climb the screen. She was already into her late years. So I had that open and I just used my little wood TV tray that I still have. What I started doing my reviews on before I got this table here. So I used that. And I made instant coffee that way. That's pretty much all I use that for. And I just drank water from the faucet because that was still running. But then the last day the power was out, I used my homemade alcohol stove and cooked some deer meat that I had taken out of my freezer before it would have spoiled. And then I opened up a can of sliced carrots, and I just cooked that up on that same alcohol stove, and I filled it all the way up with the fuel. I used that yellow bottle heat as my fuel, so I did that on my deck. So that's. But if I would not have been able to do that, then I could have gone to the flameless ration heaters. Oh, sorry to hear that about your cat leaving you. I still want to call Mila's name once in a while. Yeah, it's been a year since she left me, but you know, Pumpkin is a whole different cat. She has a different personality. She purrs a lot. Mila never really purred much. But but Pumpkin is more of a lover. Mila just wanted to just do her own thing. But I will keep her profile. I'll keep her face as my profile picture. I'm not going to change that. But Pumpkin likes to, if I'm opening up anything with just a strong chicken smell, say if I open up a can of chicken Vienna sausage, she wants a piece of it. If I open up just a plain chicken, say like a little pouch, single serve pouch of chicken or a can of chicken, she is right there. If I open up tuna, oops, sorry, a brief disconnect, sorry about that. If I open up just plain tuna, she doesn't give a flip. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, where I used to live before I moved here, there were some cats that frequented the dumpster or that hung out in the area around the parking lot. People were feeding those cats. I put out something occasionally. After all, I had I had a cat, so I would put out a little something. I've only seen one stray cat here. Someone had been feeding it for a while, but I haven't seen any stray cats here for a while. There are people in my building who have dogs. And so some of those dogs have gotten to know me. So they will come up and I'll give them a little rub on the head. Well, Smokey should be going live in about 5 minutes or so, or just whenever he's able to get on. Sometimes he gets on later than the time he says he's going to go live, but so yeah, Grumpy Cat, all kinds of memes made out of Grumpy Cat. So since I pretty much polished off everything, I would say it's time to close this one out and get ready for Smokey stream. I'm curious what he will show us tonight. So I think that sounds like a plan to me. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. That way everybody can watch for Smokey to go live. And hopefully it'll be a good one. So anyway, thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. And next Sunday I should be back to my regular schedule. I'm not sure if I'll finish this beast off or if I'll do something different next week, but I do got a few more rations to get through, and hopefully then I should have my other ones that I've been waiting for. So anyway, thanks for watching and catch you on the flip side.